I thought I knew everything there was about investing in real estate. I mean, I attended seminars. I read a ton of books about investing in real estate. Plus, I have an MBA, and I had a couple of years of work experience, so I knew what I was doing, and I was going to invest in real estate and become rich. But boy, was I wrong. Investing in real estate, it's a whole different ball game. It's another animal, and it's going to overwhelm you if you don't know what you're doing. It did for me. You're essentially starting a business, right? And if you've never run a business before where you're the boss, it can be very stressful. I mean, yeah, to start investing in real estate, you need to start somewhere. But my somewhere was for someone whom had a ton of experience with investing in real estate. I had none. And when I finally, stepped back a couple of years later to analyze my business, I realized there were a lot of things I would have done differently because I did a lot of things wrong. And if I would have had to do it all over again, instead of just diving headfirst like I did, this is what I would have done to set myself up right from the beginning for success and less stress. So stay tuned to find out what it is. Hey, it's Tyler Sulier, 2015 Crew Magazine Investor of the Year and your real estate investing educator. I'm glad you landed on my channel where I'm always sharing tips, strategies, just tons of information on how to start investing in real estate and all the benefits from investing in real estate that will come to you in your life. So subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video each week. So it's now been over 5 years, the end of 2013 to be exact, since I purchased my first investment property, a 6-bedroom, 2-bathroom duplex in Windsor, Ontario for $48,000 to flip it. It was such an amazing rush when I bought that property that about 2 weeks later, I remember I got accepted another offer on another duplex that I was looking to buy for $87,000 to fix and flip that one as well. Or I think it was maybe to keep as a rental or maybe to refinance it. At the time, I really didn't know. All I knew was that when I ran the numbers on these properties I was looking to purchase, I was going to do very well on them. $30,000 on the first one, $40,000 on the second if I flipped it. Oh, and then all of a sudden I remember there was a 22-unit mixed-use commercial property that just came for sale, and I'm going to make an offer on that because the numbers showed that after renovating, it was going to generate almost $2,000 a month in cash flow if I kept it as a rental. And yeah, that did happen. And yes, I did buy that 22-unit commercial property. To that point, actually over the next 11 months from my first investment property that I bought 15 properties, including an 8-unit commercial, a 4-plex, another duplex, and another a single family home and another. Basically, anytime I saw a deal, I figured it was a deal and I just had to buy it. However, I had no game plan. I was just, going on a whim, seeing properties hit the market and thinking, okay, I should buy this property. Just because everything seemed like a deal. Now realizing that I wouldn't have bought most of them if I could go back, nor would have paid what I paid for some of them, knowing what I know now, because I know I overpaid on quite a few of them based on the renovations that were required and all the work they needed or tenants that needed to be in there. But, I didn't know better at the time. I was buying these properties without any idea of what I was doing, nor any idea how much time would be involved when you own more properties besides your own. Nor the systems you need in place so everything runs smoothly, nor the team you need to help you, run your business, nor all the costs that are involved and the time involved. I knew nothing when I started. So I basically, from the beginning, almost set myself up for failure. Luckily, I didn't fail. I eventually turned my business around and I built a solid foundation for it. But that time, like I said, I was basically like a chicken with its head cut off, to the point where I was just staying afloat, I remember, because I had tied up all my capital into so many properties so quickly, right? I was just banking on selling one to buy another, or sell one to renovate another, or refinance one to lost track of to do something, right? It was just not money moving everywhere, and I couldn't even keep afloat. So, tying up all this capital into all these properties, and the renovations needed at all these properties, like I said, there were times I remember selling properties at a loss instead of keeping it in my portfolio because I needed the capital to complete renovations at another property or to pay the holding costs, like the mortgage at another, or pay back the private lender I remember on one of them. There are times where I had properties sit vacant for months because I didn't have the capital to do the renovations nor the team to even do them. And there were times where a property, I didn't even have it being rented because I didn't have the time nor a property manager to find tenants and manage it once it was rented, causing me to use my capital to pay for the carrying costs at this vacant property. My business and how I ran it, it was a mess. Reacting instead of being proactive, which you should be when you run a business. Learning as I went, which I look back on now, easily cost me tens of thousands of dollars and lots of lost time and lots of stress. So if I had to do it all over again, and this is for you soon-to-be investors, and if you are soon-to-be real estate investor, I'm curious who you are. So leave a hell yes or hell yeah in the comments section below if you are. Anyways, if I had to do it all over again, I would have bought right from the beginning, instead of a fix and flip or a bunch of fix and flips or properties that need a lot of work, a nice turnkey single family home or duplex, maximum units, two of them, that needed no work, was in a very nice area, had good long-term paying tenants, and generated a nice, just steady cash-on-cash return, which would have given me the time you really need to learn the ins and outs of investing in real estate. If I would have done this, it would have allowed me to learn how to invest in real estate the right way, develop systems, learn how to run a business, create, I learned how to create rules of thumbs to follow when analyzing properties to potentially purchase, learning the ins and outs of running a business, such as how to record, your income and your expenses and how to manage a property, how to file a tax return or get your tax return ready for your accountant, how to build a team of professionals such as contractors, tradespeople, lawyers, accountants that you can reach out to, right away when you need them and trust their advice. And by learning even from others whom were and are successful in investing in real estate. Then, after about a year, maybe minimum 6 months, when you finally get a handle on owning an income property, a handle on how to deal with tenants, a handle on the bookkeeping, a handle on how to run a business, and you found a couple good contractors, found a bunch of good tradespeople you can call on that you trust, then and only then should you think to yourself, start thinking to yourself, okay, now I'm ready to buy another property. I'm ready for my next challenge. I'm ready to maybe try a fix and flip because fix and flips are very risky and very time consuming and very capital intensive. Or I'm ready to buy a multi-unit property with more than 2 units, maybe 3, 4, or 6 or more. Only then, honestly. Until then, a turnkey property in my mind is how I would start investing in real estate, to get my feet wet, because you're not dealing with renovations. You're not dealing with the time crunch of a property. You're fixing and flipping to relieve that capital, get that capital out. You're not, you don't have to pour huge amounts of capital into the property to renovate it. You don't have to deal with, the financial stress of tying up that money. You don't have to deal with chasing tenants for the rent if you bought a property, and not a great area because you just didn't know what you're doing, because you just wanted to buy a deal. You don't have to deal with, trying to find a contractor to do the renovations at your property that you bought because it was a deal, or a tradesperson to do repairs in the middle of the night at one of your rentals that you just bought because, hey, you just thought it was going to be a good idea to start investing in real estate. And that's because, when you buy a turnkey property, you're buying a money-making business, where the instant you own the property, you're making an income. So you don't have to deal with all the headaches that come with a property that needs work, or a property with multiple units, or a property you intend to fix and flip, or a property with not good tenants, or an old property that needs lots of maintenance. No, with a turnkey property, you'll have no such headaches, or very minimal, which will allow you to focus instead on how to set up the systems that will allow you to scale your real estate investing business so that when the time comes, you can easily take on more challenges because you've gained experience. You've built a solid foundation for your business, and you can do more. In fact, in my 6-week course, Real Estate Investing on Autopilot, I teach you step by step how to start investing in real estate the right way by making sure the business is set up to be successful for the long term, so that when you do grow your portfolio from that, maybe that turnkey property, it will run as smoothly as when you own that one turnkey property. This way you can grow your wealth without the headaches and the stress that I endured when I began. My course basically teaches you everything I know so that you avoid all the mistakes that I made. And you can enroll in my course by clicking on the link below this video. I hope this helped. And if you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you clicked on the thumbs up button below, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel so you continue your real estate investment education. Lastly, be sure to check out some of my most recent videos right here. I got one to my left and one to my right here to learn more about how to invest in real estate. Thank you, and we're going to see you at the next one.